I'm Dave, aka the Costume Kid, and today we're going to be making Luke Skywalker's costume as well as his iconic lightsaber. So let's get started. So this costume was requested by Danny the Only One, and I'm going to do the costume from Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. I just like that version. It's pretty classic, and it's from the first Star Wars movie. So I like that, and it's just the white shirt, tan pants, some weird kind of funky tan boots there, and then just his belt with his lightsaber. So yeah, this should be easy. So I went out and got a couple items from the thrift store. Now for his shirt, some people say it's white, some people say it's more of a tan, so you can really do whatever you want. You could either use like just a white dress shirt or a tan dress shirt, and it should be kind of oversized because as you can see his sleeves are kind of really long and a little bit big. So what I found was this. It's sort of off-white, a little bit yellowy, so this was $5 and it's pretty big on me. And you may notice it does have these little silver lines which do not match up, but if we flip it inside out, you barely notice the lines and it really doesn't look that bad. So as you can see, it's pretty big on me. So now we gotta just start doing some of the modifications to this and make it a little less dress shirt and more Luke Skywalker. Okay, so to start off with some of the modifications on this shirt, it's going to be inside out, so that means we have to remove stuff like these tags and actually all of the buttons, so that could be a little bit of time consuming. But first, let's just do that, and then we'll go from there. So, I guess I didn't have to take all these buttons off one by one anyway, because what I'm going to do now is just remove this entire strip where the buttons were, as well as on this side, even though it doesn't have any buttons. And then I'll also remove the entire collar, because Luke's shirt has no collar whatsoever. And then we'll pick up from there. This is my pile of scraps from all that cutting of fabric, but this is the shirt right now. And I'm just gonna make some simple hemming using some hot glue along the edge and then folding it over. So I'll do that, and then that's pretty much it for the shirt. You'll see, I'm gonna fold it over in a weird way because it won't be buttoned, so I'll just fold it over, and that's pretty much it. And I also picked up this pair of tan pants at the thrift store. These were like $4. Okay, so this shirt's looking pretty cool. And basically what you're gonna do is, I'm not gonna glue this into place or anything. I'm just gonna, if I'm wearing it, put it in this way, and then the belt that we're gonna make next will hold it all into place. So first I'm gonna put this over here, and then this one kind of goes on top, covering that up. Oh yeah, looks like Luke Skywalker now. So Luke also wears these kind of funky tan fabric wrappy boot things, and there's a few different ways you can make this, and that's kind of depending on your dedication and devotion to making this costume look exact. So option number one is you can have some boots and either spray paint them tan or wrap them in some tan fabric. That would look the most iconic and the best. But you don't really have to, because when you think of Luke Skywalker, you're not like, oh, those iconic boots, gotta make those. But yeah, the next option, if you're gonna like shoot a video or something, you could just wrap some tan fabric around your legs and around your feet. That would work just fine if you're not gonna wear this out and about. I just wanted to mention this because it's a perfect example of old miscellaneous pieces being used for new costume parts. So remember like a couple months ago when I made Rick Grimes' sheriff outfit? Well, I made that out of a long sleeve tan shirt, and I cut off the sleeves to make them short sleeve. Well, I kept that sleeve part, and now if we modify it a little, we can put it on our legs. Huh? So one of the final pieces of this costume is to make Luke's belt. So his belt is actually pretty cool. What I want to do is start with this pretty thick web belt that I got for about $1 at a thrift store. And now we're going to just build on top of it with some of his modifications and different pouches and stuff, as well as his lightsaber. So let's do that. Alright, so here's my belt, and now there are some different little compartments. This is the photo I'm going to be going off of. So I'm just going to try to build some of this stuff out of cardboard and miscellaneous pieces, and then just glue it onto the belt, or maybe I can even loop the belt through it. So, for those two little boxes you see next to the lightsaber, those I'm making out of these little cardboard boxes I had lying around. They're tape boxes, I guess. I'm just going to glue them right there. Look pretty good, and I'll spray paint them later. So real quickly, I just made a little gun out of an old squirt gun I had, attached some PVC pipe to the top, and spray painted it all black. So it's not accurate to any gun in the Star Wars universe, but I like it, and the way I see it, it'll look better than having an empty holster. At least he has a little pistol in there. So yeah, now for the holster. I'm just gonna make it out of some cardboard and glue it onto the belt. So simple enough. So the belt buckle on Luke's belt actually has a pretty particular shape to it. So I'm just gonna make that out of a piece of cardboard and paint it silver. Easy enough. So now we're gonna work on the lightsaber. So I started with a piece of 1 1/4 inch PVC pipe. This has a pretty particular shape on top, so you could cut that using just a regular Dremel tool, but I had some help from my dad, and just because we have it, we actually used a fine-tooth scroll saw. So we just went around the curve with that and then sanded it down smooth. And then I just cut down another pipe that fits inside of that, and that completes that. And then to cap it off, I just used the cap from an empty milk gallon, and that completes pretty much the base of our lightsaber. There are a bunch of tiny little details all around this thing, and for that, I'm going to give a shout out to my stepdad, because he has a junk box and he collects a bunch of, washers and nails and stuff, and I looted through that and took a bunch of stuff that I thought would be pretty good for this lightsaber. So thanks, and now I'm just going to take all that stuff and glue it to the lightsaber. There's a little cylinder raised off of the PVC pipe, so for that I'm just using an empty toilet paper tube and making another cardboard box to go on top of that, and then that's surrounded by this mesh fabric I had. You could use like a non-slip mat or something, and then just more of those little details and buttons and things all around the lightsaber. I also want to mention that reference photos are key in this project. I was really lucky. I actually had a reference model. It's just an old toy lightsaber that I've had for years, and this was really good in trying to get all those details perfect. Okay, I just want to point out the little detail here that I got perfect. So this is my reference model toy lightsaber here, and you see that little brown button there? So I'm looking for stuff like a little piece of junk to put on the PVC pipe lightsaber. So using a little rubber piece that I cut up and a washer, I made this. Now, I don't know how well you can really see, but it's pretty much the exact thing. Okay, this lightsaber is looking pretty awesome right now, but it's a little bit colorful. So I think it's time to hit it with a coat of metallic silver spray paint. This is about $4, and it'll just instantly turn it into a lightsaber. So I'm actually first going to hit it with a coat of gray primer. This is also about $4, and that'll just kind of help to cover up all these different colors that we got going on. Okay, the gray primer is dry, and now it's actually time for the metallic silver. So this is the really crucial step in making it look like a lightsaber now, because it's gonna look pretty good, I think. Okay, took this baby in from being spray painted, and man, it looks just like a real lightsaber right now. From far away, I might even get him confused. But now there's a bunch of little black lines. There's actually 6 of them running down the bottom half of the lightsaber. And so they're kind of like a grip, and there's a few different options you could use for this. You could use strips of, say, like a rubber door stopper. You could use popsicle sticks, pieces of cardboard, whatever you want. And I was gonna use popsicle sticks, but then I decided to change and use this scrap piece of craft foam I just had lying around. You can get like full sheets of this for, I don't know, about $1 at your local craft store. And I'm just gonna cut the 6 little pieces out of that. So this is where your hand's gonna be, and it's supposed to be a grip. And I thought if it was the wood popsicle sticks, it'd just not be that comfy, but craft foam, that'll work. So I'm going to look both at the reference model and just at some pictures and try to make these 6 little ridges and then paint them black and glue them on the saber. Okay, it should look something like this. When I finished mine, well, it's a little bit off, but that's okay. I'll just have to live with that. And this thing already looks pretty much like a lightsaber. So, you see we got my reference model over here with the blade. It's pretty similar. So, yeah. The next thing to do is pretty much the only missing thing on it. You can see that little gold panel detail. So for that, I'm gonna build it right on top of this, just using another piece of cardboard on top of that, which I'm gonna paint gold, and then looking at the reference photos, draw all the details, the black details with a Sharpie on there, and then just hot glue it right onto the top of that. Okay, so this lightsaber is almost complete, and there is one little gold detail on the side of this box that I just noticed. So for that, I'm just gonna look through my junk box, and you can try to find something that looks close enough that you can just cut and paint gold and glue it on the side of that. Okay, and the final piece of this puzzle. That's how you turn a scrap piece of PVC pipe into a Luke Skywalker lightsaber hilt. This thing is pretty crazy and really iconic. One of my favorite props I've ever made here on the show. So the last thing to do is, this is totally optional. If you want to just display it standing like that, that's great. You could even add a blade coming out of it. But what I'm going to do is actually attach it, and so it'll be temporarily attached to Luke's belt that we made earlier. So what I'm going to do for that is use a ring and kind of attach it to the bottom of this, and another thing to the top of Luke's belt, and should be pretty cool. So let's do that. So what I've decided to do, because I don't have a metal D-ring, or even really a metal ring, I'm going to use this metal washer I just found in my junk box. Whoops. And I'm gonna basically cut a slit in the bottom and slide this thing. It'll go about halfway down the washer, and it'll be a good ring, and it won't be, it'll be pretty sturdy because this is a pretty thick metal washer there. So yeah, so this belt was looking pretty cool. It's almost done. The final thing to do is actually attach the lightsaber to the belt. So to do that, what I wanted to do, my plan was, with this little washer, that could hang from one of those clip things here. I have a mini one right here. It's green. I wanted to be silver. One of these. So I wanted one of these, and it's bigger because this one's actually really small. So I know I have one, but I just searched around, ransacked my junk box. I can't find one right now. So I'm going to find one later and use that, but right now I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it so that you can do that, or whatever different option. This is not the way the real one's attached, so you can come up with whatever way you want to. Doesn't really matter. So with the bigger one, that's going to be about like the size of, say, it's as tall as this box. So that's going to be there, and I'm going to have this part just hanging down about right there, so that this thing can open up, you see, and then this will, it'll be a little bit bigger, but it'll slide on in, and that will be attached to the belt so you can wear it. It'll be a nice solid thing attached to your belt, but then you can do that unclips, and boom, you've got yourself a usable lightsaber hilt. Alrighty, and that's it for the costume. I am super excited to try this all on. Alright, and that's it for the costume. We got Luke Skywalker here, got his sweet gun, and his really awesome lightsaber hilt. Oh my god, this thing just looks so cool, very, very authentic, and I think I'm gonna add it to my set back there in a future video. The total cost to make this was around $20, but if you didn't have some of the scrap materials and spray paint, you can still make this thing for around $30 to $35. So that is pretty awesome, and it looks really accurate in my opinion. Alright, if you have any comments or questions on this video, please leave them in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this tutorial, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for future videos just like this one. Alright, I'll see you next time right here on The Costume Kid.